Okay, fine, good. Yeah. So just a minute, please. Okay. So yeah, first of all, please mute your mics, all of you. Okay. So we have just begun our discussion of serialization. I'm yet to tell you people what is serialization. But before that, so in the last class where we have stopped, I'll tell you people. So I was talking about object and its data, how to store the data permanently to the permanently object state. I can say how to store it permanently. That is what I wanted to tell you people. Okay, how to store the object state permanently. Yes. You know, that is what I'll teach you people today. As of now, so far, the objects which we have created, they live on the heap. You people know that. And these objects basically, they hold the data, right? And the objects which are on the heap, they are stored temporarily on the heap. Yes. They are stored temporarily on the heap. Yes. Right? Because heap memory is volatile memory. So once your application stops execution, whatever the memory which is allocated for the heap is deallocated. That is how heap memory works. Yeah. But I would like to store the object state permanently. Object state means the data. I'm talking about the data. I would like to store it permanently. So I got two options as I told you people. One is use flat files. Sorry. Number two is use DB servers, database servers. So we are going to examine the first option here, that is flat file. Flat file means text files, you can say. But if you want to write the object state, that means the data related to this object to the file, so there is a process for that. First of all, the object has to go through the serialization process. And then only we can transmit that object state through the file and write it to the file. Sorry, then only we can send this object state through the stream and then we can write it to the file. Okay. Here, I'll give you people the definition of the serialization here. Okay, all of you, please make a note of it. the object should go through the serialization process if you want to write it to the file. Okay, yes, this is the first step. Please make a note of it. So serialization means, you can say that it is a mechanism where an object can be represented as sequence of bytes that includes object's data, as well as information about the object's type. Object's type means object's type. What does that means? You people know that. Class. Whenever you come across this type, you have to consider that it's a class. Object's type means class. So during the or during the serialization, I can say the object's data as well as the information about the object's type, that means the class details, and the types of data, you know not only the data but also class, and as well as you know the data which we are storing, what type of data the object holds. You see, for example, you got account number in savings account, it is integer type. Balance is float type. You may have a branch name, it is string type. So the type details, data type details, everything will be converted into sequence of bytes. Okay, so that is what happens in the serialization process. But now the question is, why we have to do this? Yes, so that the object state can be conveniently transmitted through the stream, in order to make sure that we can easily transmit the data through the stream. Okay, okay, yes. the object state has to be serialized. Okay, yes, fine. You know, by default, objects are not serializable. By default, objects are not serializable. By default, objects are not serializable. Yes. If you want to serialize the object state, okay, to make the objects eligible for serialization, in other words, to make the objects eligible for serialization, we have to make the class implements serializable interface. We have to make the class implements serializable interface. Yeah, you see, now the savings account class, I will making it implements serializable interface. So it is in which package? Java.io. It is in java.io package. Okay, which interface serializable. Now making the class implement serializable interface, I can say that here. Now we are making this savings account objects serializable. Okay. Once the savings account class implements this interface, I can say that the savings account class objects have become eligible for serialization. Now they have become eligible for serialization here. Okay. Yes. What if the savings account class or any class, if it doesn't implement serializable interface, then the objects of that class are not eligible for serialization. Okay. So please remember this point. Now generally, when we say implementing an interface, what you'll have in an interface, yes, what you'll have in an interface, in an interface we'll have abstract methods, right? Generally, when we say a class implements an interface, that means it generally it will be overriding, yes, the abstract methods, yes, abstract methods, yes. So, but in this interface there are no methods to implement. In this interface there are no methods to interface. I guess once we came across such interfaces without any methods. What are these interfaces called as? Yes, the interface without any methods. Yes, an interface without any methods, it is called as marker interface, or we say it's a tag interface. Now if there are no methods in that interface, then why we are making the class implements this interface? If there are no methods defined in that class, then why we are making the class implements that interface? you know, just to tag or mark this class that the objects of this class are eligible. We are making them eligible just by tagging them. We'll just tag it. Okay. So we are acknowledging that, okay, this class objects can be serialized. So hope you people got it. Yes. Okay. So this is the first step, you know, if you want to write this object state to the file. Serializing the object. Okay. Yeah. Making the objects eligible for serialization. Next, you know, here, how do we serialize this object? You know, the process which we are talking about here. How do we do that? So in order to do that, you know, the Java API provides a class called as object output stream. Object output stream. Okay. You know, this class here, it not only, you know, serializes an object, but you will find that it also is used to transmit that object state to the file. How? Through the stream, and write it to the file. It does three things. You know, we got a method called as write object for that purpose. Write object method, what it does. Yeah, first, okay, write object will serialize an object. Next, transmits object's state through the stream, and third step, writes the object state to the file. Okay, it does three things. Write object mode will serialize an object, transmits object state through the stream, and writes object state to the file. Okay, now you see here, to transmit the object state through the stream. Okay, to transmit the object state to the file, we need a stream, right? So in this case, what type of stream is needed? So what type of stream is needed in order to transmit the object state? We need a byte stream. Okay, so, and again, what should be the stream type? Okay, byte stream is fine. Whether it should be input stream or output stream, again, that is also important, right? Whether it should be input stream or output stream. Okay, What about others? What do you people think? What type of stream it is supposed to be? We want to write the object state. It should be an output stream. Okay? It should be output stream, not input stream. Yes. So now we have to create that byte in output stream and provide it to the object output stream so that it will use it to transmit that object state, okay, through the stream. So you see, first of all, I'll create a file output stream. That means it's a byte stream itself. It's a byte output stream, I can say. So file name, let's say account dot ser. You know, the file name you can give anything you wish. Okay, just to avoid confusion. So I'll just use this reference variable name, savings account. Now what is the file name? Account.ser, ser. The extension I'm using it as ser. Okay. You know, generally the files in which we store the object state, that files extension, uh, we generally use .ser extension. Okay. If you want, you can also use text, also txt also as extension. Okay. We can also use txt as extension. Okay. Now, next thing we need to create object output stream. Okay. And we have to pass that file output stream here. That is the next thing we need to do. Yes. Okay. You're passing the file output stream to the object output stream. Yes. Now, the object output stream class, we got write object method. Okay. So we need to pass it to that savings account object. Sorry, we need to pass that savings account object reference. So which object you would like to write, that object reference we need to pass it. Okay. Okay. So the write object method itself will take care of all the three things. Serializing the object, transmits object state through the stream, and writes the object state to the file. Okay. So once we are done, let's close this object output stream as well as file output stream. Yes. Okay. Now we'll print a statement here. object state written to the file. Now let's run this code. Now actually this file account.ser, where it is, did we create that file? So are we supposed to create that file? Actually, as of now the file is not existing. It will be created where we didn't specify any path. We didn't specify any path. You'll find that here that file will be created in this project directory itself. So it will be created in this project directory itself. Okay, yes. So let me run this code. Okay, now you refresh this project once. After executing the code, make sure that you refresh the project. Then only you will be able to find that new file which is created here. You see account.set. Open this file. So we got this details. So this is all blah blah blah. Okay, yes. Yeah. Now that object state is written here. So we don't need to worry about it because we don't read it this way. Okay. Now why did we write this object state to the file here? What was the reason? Why did we write the object state to the file here? What was the reason? Because, yes, to store it permanently. Okay. Even though if your application stopped, still, you know, now your data, that object state is in that file. It is written like that. Okay. It is stored permanently. So now, whenever you want, you can read this object state. I mean the data which is in that object. Whenever you want, you can read it back again. Okay. Yes. Now, how do we read that object state? So that is so another question here. How to read the object state here? Yes. So in order to read the object state, this time we have to use which type of stream? What do you people think? Now you see it is in the file, right? I'll comment all this code. Now I would like to read that data which is in that file, that object state which is in that file. So what am I supposed to do this time? Yes. So first of all, we are supposed to create a stream to read the data. So what type of stream are we supposed to create here? What type of stream are we supposed to create? So an input stream. So that too, it should be a byte stream because we got the data in the bytes format, right? That object state is represented as input byte stream, byte sequence of bytes, right? The object state is in the form of sequence of bytes. So we need a file input stream. Yes. Yeah, to read that object state which is in the file, you need this input stream now. Okay, this is the first step. So earlier, the object output stream, it was able to serialize the object. Okay, it was able to serialize the object. That means transform that sequence of bytes, sorry, the object state into sequence of bytes, right? And it was transmitting that object state through the stream and writing into the file. This time, you know, we got another class which is quite in opposite to object output stream. We call it as in object input stream. Now this class provides a method for us. Okay, object input stream. We got a method called as read object. So this will help us to read the object state from the file. This method will help us to read the object state from the file. Okay, so you will find that it will transmit this object state through the stream into the Java application, and then you'll find that it will convert that object state which is in sequence of bytes into an object again. It will convert it into an object again. So you see that file, the data which is in that file is in the form of sequence of bytes, right? So that object state which is in sequence of bytes, again it will be used to reproduce an object. So an object will be created here. Yes, an object will be created. Yes. So this process is quite opposite. So earlier we had an object, it was transformed into sequence of bytes. Now we got sequence of bytes, it will be transformed into an object. So it will be converted into an object. Okay. So this process is called as deserialization. Deserialization. Okay, it is quite opposite to serialization. Okay. First, reads the object state from the file, then transmits the object state through the stream into the application now. Next, reconstructs the object which is in sequence of bytes. Reconstructs the object using the object state, I can say, object state which is in sequence of bytes. That's it. Now this process, I can say, the third step, it is actually deserialization. Deserialization. Yeah. So for that, we are going to use this object input stream. So create object input stream class, pass this file input stream. Now use read object method. Sorry, use this object input streams read object method. Okay. So when you call this read object method, now what it does, just now whatever the steps which I have explained, whatever the steps I have explained, you'll find that they will be executed now by this method. Okay, and straight away you'll get a savings account object now. You'll get a savings account object here. Okay, so you know it returns a superclass object reference, so we have to transmit it into savings account type here. Okay, and this read object method, okay, we got an error here. Can you people tell me what to do? What is this error? It's not missing. You know, whenever you see this error, unhandled exception type, that means it says we are not handling this exception. whose name is class not found exception. So that read object method actually throws this exception. There is a chance that you may get this exception. So it's a checked exception. Either you handle it using try catch or use throws clause. You have two options: either use try catch or use throws clause. I'll use throws clause here. Okay, now let's try to read these details. Account number, branch, balance. I guess balance is a private variable. So let me just create a getter method for that balance property. Otherwise, we will not be able to read it. Okay. Let's hit balance. Okay. So let's run this code. Oops. Sorry. You know, this is very important. After writing the object state, you're not supposed to modify that class. The class definition has changed here. Okay. That's the reason why you'll get this exception. So make sure that you don't make any changes to the class after writing the object state. So I just made some changes. I've defined that get method, right? I'll rewrite. I'll again write that object state to the file. Okay. So I'll delete this account.set and I'll try to write the object state again. Okay. Yes. Now I'll try to read it. After writing the object state to the file, you're not supposed to modify that class definition. Okay. Otherwise, you'll get this exception. Now let me read this object state. Yeah, you got this details. Account number 101, balance 5000. Branch, I guess we didn't store it. While creating the savings account object, yes, we didn't pass the branch details, you see. So that's the reason why it is null. Okay. Yes. So hope you people got it. Now you see that object state is stored permanently. Now whenever you want, you can read it. Earlier, you see, we were creating the objects on the heap. They were stored temporarily. Okay. Now we have it permanently. So this will be retained forever. Whenever you want to read it, you can. Yeah. Any questions in this regard, please let me know. So can I assume that this is clear for you people? Okay, you know, most of them here, they will be confused with one thing. Again, I would like to also ask you people this question particularly. When I say serialization, does that means writing the object straight to the file? Serialization means, does that means writing the object straight to the file? Yes? Yeah. Serialization means yes. It is not, it doesn't mean that writing the object straight to the file. Serialization, yes, it helps the or it helps us to write the object straight to the file. How? During the serialization process, the object state is transformed into sequence of bytes. Okay, it's just one step here. You know, you may need to serialize the object in other cases also. When can you people tell me in what will be the other situations where we may need to serialize the object? In what cases we may need to serialize the object other than writing the object straight to the file? Okay, reading the file from the object. Okay, yeah. You know, not only that, but if you want to transmit the object state through the network to a remote machine, okay, transmitting the object state to a remote machine through the network. In order to transmit the object state through the network also, we need serialization. Okay, whenever we have to move the object state, okay, we need it. Yes. What is needed? Serialization. Okay. Again, when we are talking about writing the object straight to the file, there is one more thing which we need to consider here. What is it? How about the associated objects? How about the associated objects? Is there any associated object to the savings account here? Yes. No, but as of now, okay, while creating the savings account object, we didn't associate it. But yes, there is a possibility we can associate a account holder object here, right? So now you need to also serialize that object, right? If needed, you may need to do that. Yes, that you need to consider. Okay. Yes. As of now, account holder objects, are they eligible for serialization? Account holder object, is it eligible for serialization? It is not eligible for serialization. No. Because why it is not eligible for serialization here? Why we cannot serialize this object? If you cannot serialize it, you cannot write this object straight to the file. Okay, please remember. Okay, now you have to take care of these things. Fine. Yeah. So this is about serialization and writing the object straight to the file. Next, we'll move on. So there is one last thing which I would like to show you people here. Reading the input from the keyboard. Okay, reading the input from the keyboard. That is, I mean, standard input device. Okay, let's try to do that. You know, in Java, you learn it a little late, but maybe in other languages you'll learn it in the beginning itself. Reading the object state, sorry, not object state. Reading the input from the keyboard, that is from the standard input device. So you learn it. You will learn it in the beginning itself in most of the languages like C, C++, and all. But in Java, you have to wait till this time here. Okay, because you see, this is completely based on object-oriented concepts. You need to learn object-oriented concepts first to understand how to read the data from the standard input device. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now we got a class here called as input stream reader. So there are different ways, but I'll show you one of the ways here. That is input stream reader. We can use this class. So use this class here to create an input stream. We need an input stream here, right? Because we are reading the input from the keyboard into the application. We want to read the data from the keyboard into the application. Yes. So we need a input stream here. Yes. What is next? You see, to the constructor of the input stream reader class, to that input stream reader class constructor, we are passing the system.in. What is it? System.in. It refers to the standard input device. System.in here. It refers to the standard input device. System.in. Okay. Now, once you obtain this input stream reader, once you obtain the input stream reader, you can use it to read the data from the input device, that is your keyboard. So for that I'll use this method, input stream reader dot read method. Read method here, it will prompt the users to type in a character. It will take only one character here. Okay. So it returns the Unicode value of the character which user has typed in. We'll take it and we'll convert it into character type again here. That's it. And I'll print it. Yeah. Okay. So I'll print it. So let me run this code. Once I run this code, you see you'll find that the application now will wait till user types in a character. The user has to type in a character. Till that time, the application will wait. Yes. Okay. So let me type in a character. Let's say K. I'll type in K and press enter. You see, you got that K again. We're able to read it. Yes. This way, you can read a character. What if I want to read more than one character? This is very much similar to the way we did in files. When we are reading the data from the file, how did we read multiple characters? What did we do at that time? Yes. How did we read multiple characters? Yes. So we have used read line. Where is read line? Where is read line method? Read line method, it is actually in buffered reader class. So we need a buffered reader. Okay, buffered reader. Create a buffered reader and pass that input stream reader to the buffer reader class constructor. Now in the buffer reader, you will find the method read line. Now it returns a string straight away. We'll print it. Yes. So this is how you're going to read set of characters, or I can say string. Now it will prompt you people to type in some characters. You see, let's say good morning. I'll press enter. So it should print good morning again. You see, you know, we got another class also. People will be using it called a scanner. You can try scanner as well once. Okay, scanner. So now at last you understood how to read the data from the input device, standard input device, right? Okay, so this is about streams. Hope you people understood how to use the streams to move the data or read. We got data in a particular source. It can be anything, a file from the input device, or it can be in the buffer. You can read it through the streams. Yes, not only reading it, you can also send the data or write the data. So with this, I can say that we are done with the streams. So any questions in this regard? Okay, good. Now the next topic which I'm going to talk about is the collection API. People also call it as collection framework, but you call it as collection API itself. What is collection API? Collection API is part of your Java standard API itself. Basically, collection API provides the support for handling a collection of objects or a group of objects, I can say. It helps us to handle a collection of objects or group of objects. When I say a group of objects or a collection of objects, so how did we handle them so far? If we got a collection of objects, how did we handle them? So far, how did we handle them? Okay, uh, we have used arrays, right? Not interface. A collection of objects. When you got more than multiple objects here, to hold multiple object references, we have used arrays concept. Okay, I guess we saw that example also. You see, supplier class, when I was talking about associations, just a second, please, just a second. Yeah, I'm sorry. When we are talking about associations, we saw that. You see, a supplier supplies more than one product. So, supplier will hold the reference to multiple product objects which it supplies. You see, we're using an array here, in this case, to store multiple product object references, right? But there are drawbacks with the arrays concept. Whenever you have to handle a collection of objects or group of objects, okay, we can use arrays. But arrays has got some problem. What is it? Yes. What is the limitation of arrays? What is the limitation of array? All of you are familiar with this, I guess. Limitation of an array. Okay, I got this. One answer, array size cannot be changed later on. Yes, the limitation of the arrays, the size cannot be changed. Array size cannot be changed. It is fixed. And is there any other limitation for the array apart from size? Size is fixed, okay. Okay, okay. It occupies more memory, and I got one more limitation, stores similar type of data. You know, yes, this, people talk about this limitation, that is array can only take similar values. But but we got an option in the array to store different types of values. You know that? Uh, I can say that actually we can overcome this limitation of storing similar values. How? By creating an object array. So you see, this issue can be addressed. The limitation of storing similar values, that limitation can be addressed this way. So now into this array, what type of values can we store? What do you people think? Into this array, what type of values can we store? It's object array, right? Yes, any type of value, right? So object array can take any type of value. So you see, this issue has been addressed. So generally we say Arrays can only take a similar type of values, right? Okay. So these are the two limitations. Okay, not two, one. One is size. But what is the other limitation? Definitely, it is not similar values. We can store different types of values also into the array. But still, there is one more issue here with the array. You know, array only supports one data structure. Array only supports one data structure. You know, array always uses a particular data structure, that is list data structure, I can say. List DS data structure, or you can say array list data structure. So what is a data structure? What is a data structure? What is a data structure? You know, the data structure here, it is very important. Data structure, it, it describes the way you want to organize the data into the memory, or the way you want to store the data into the memory. How exactly you want to store the data into the memory? How exactly you want to store the data into the memory? That is what is specified by the data structure. There are different ways to organize or store the data into the memory. You will find that there are many different ways to store the data. So here you will find that the data structure describes the way you want to store the data. So already you people are familiar with list data structure, I can say. Already you people are familiar with list data structure. Array uses list itself. In the array, how the elements are stored based on the index value, right? One after the other in the sequence based on the index value. But you know, you'll find that we got many other data structures also. Apart from arrays, you got many other data structures. Apart from list data structure, I'm sorry. List is also called as array list data structure. Apart from list or array list data structure, you got other data structures also. So are you people familiar with it? You might have heard about them, right? Data structures. Okay, set. List is one, and you got linker list. You got hash table. You got stack. You got queue. There are so many data structures. There are many different data structures, I can say. Yes. So each data structure here, you'll find that defines the way the data can be stored or organized in the memory. Yes. Okay. Each data structure describes the way we can store the data into the memory or organize the data into the memory, I can say. Yes. You know, can we use any of these data structures with arrays? Will array help supports all these data structures? Array here, does it supports all the data structures which you got? No. Array, you know, it only supports list data structure. It won't support the other data structures here. Array only supports list data structure. Yes. Okay. But for all the requirements, list data structure is not ideal. It is not, appropriate for all the data structures. Sorry, it is not appropriate for all the applications, for all the requirements, I can say. List data structure is not appropriate for all the requirements. So that is another problem with arrays. Array uses list data structure, only list. So we can't use the other data structures with arrays. Okay. So you see these two limitations, size and the data structures, they are the big limitations, I can say. So that is where the collection API comes into the picture. So it helps us to overcome these issues. Size issue is addressed, and the data structure issue is also addressed here. In the collection API, you will find that you'll have collection classes. In the collection API, you got something called as collection classes, where each collection class, it implements a data structure, and the collection class object, we can use it to hold a collection of objects or a group of objects, I can say. We can use that collection class object to hold a collection of objects or group of objects, I can say. So for example, here now I want to store the elements into linked list data structure. We got a data structure called as linked list, but don't worry what is this data structure now, but just try to understand that this is one of the data structures which is used to describe how you want the data to be stored into the memory. Okay, it describes the way, or it describes how the data will be organized in the memory. So one such data structure is linked list. Yes. So into this linked list data structure, I would like to store the objects. What type of objects? String objects, let's say. So I'm creating a linked list collection class object here in this line. Okay. So in the angular brackets, have you noticed it? You see the angular brackets here. We are specifying what type of elements you want to store here. So into this collection, what type of elements you want to store? String type. We want to store string elements. Okay. So now this collection class object, this is one of the collection class object, linked list. It implements linked list data structure. When I say it implements linked list data structure, what does that means? That means internally the elements are stored into this data structure, linked list. Okay. How do we add the elements? How do we store the elements into this collection? You see, we can do this. That's it. Now, how many elements we got here in this collection? How many elements we have in this collection? As of now, we got three elements. Yes. So, how many elements can we store into this collection object, linked list? Into this linked list collection object, how many elements can we store? What do you people think? Yes, it can take any number of elements. It can take any number of elements. There is no such restriction. Okay, size is not limited, unlike arrays. So beforehand itself, we don't need to specify how many elements you want to store. Okay. How do we read the elements from this collection? See, I can use a for each loop. So if you people remember earlier, when I was talking about for each loop, as I told you people, a for each loop is specially developed. It is specially designed and developed to read the elements from the arrays as well as from the collections. You see here, we are creating this for each loop. We are declaring a temporary variable of type string because the elements in that collection are string type. And then we are passing that collection object reference. We are passing the collection object reference. Now the rest of the things are taken care by this for each loop. Now for each loop is smart enough to understand how many elements you got, how many times it is supposed to iterate, and it also reads the elements from that collection here. Okay, yes, fine. So hope this is clear for everyone. Let me run this code. Okay, now one advantage now which you can immediately understand here is that the size. Unlike arrays, the size is not fixed here. That is the first an advantage you people will understand. The other advantage here is the range of data structures which you got in this collection API. Okay, for suppose now, as of now, internally the elements are stored into linked list data structure. What if I want to store the elements into array list data structure? What if I want to store the elements into array list data structure? So you can simply change this class from linked list to array list. Simply change the class from array list to, sorry, linked list to array list. Now where are these collection classes here? They are in the java.util package. You'll find that the collection classes are in the java.util package. Okay, please make a note of it. Now the elements are stored into which data structure here? Now which data structure is used to store the elements onto the memory? Yes. Don't worry, I'll explain the data structures as well later on. As of now, time being, just will work with names. Not linked list. This time it is array list. I've changed it, right? You see, the collection class name is array list. Now this array list collection class internally, it will store the elements into array list data structure. Okay. Internally, the elements are stored into array list data structure. Yeah. Fine. This was just a formal introduction, but we'll dig into the details. I'll make you people understand each and everything in the collection API. Don't worry. But hope you understood that at least we can overcome that limitation of size first of all, and we can also use different data structures here. Okay. Yes. So I'll stop the class here today for you people, and we'll meet tomorrow at our regular time, and we'll continue our discussion.